Hello everyone. Well, the severe weather threat has begun in Nebraska, and to signify that, we have our first watch of the day, and it is a tornado watch, in effect until 11 o'clock this evening. Places included include McCook, Lexington, Kearney, Grand Island, York, Lincoln, Beatrice. What we're concerned about in this area are some very strong storms forming. They could produce some very large hail, strong wind, and yes, the possibility of tornadoes. Now, places like Columbus, Fremont, Omaha, not included in the tornado watch. This does not mean that you're still not under a threat for severe storms, but one, the storms are going to arrive in this area, Fremont, Omaha, Columbus, later, and they probably will be a little bit weaker. So the threat for tornadoes is not looking as high. Let me show you the latest high-resolution model that we have to give you the best estimate on the timing of when you're most likely to see storms. 4 o'clock this afternoon, notice the supercell starting to form. See that cell to the east of McCook? That's a supercell storm that can produce some very large hail, and yes, the possibility of tornadoes. For Kearney and Grand Island, the stormiest time is looking about 6 o'clock this afternoon. And notice those individual cells that are popping up. Now, what's going to happen as we transition to about 7 or 8 o'clock is that we may not see as many supercell storms, but instead one big cluster of storms. Notice you don't see those little individual cells so much anymore. So just one big blob of rain. Still potential for some very strong winds, though. And in fact, what we might see is the hail threat come down some, the tornado threat drop a little bit, though not completely going away. That's why Beatrice, Lincoln, Columbus, you're still under that tornado watch. But it does look like the greatest threat for really large hail and tornadoes is going to be until about 8 o'clock this evening. Then we're going to start to see this transition to a big area of storms where the greatest threat is going to be straight line winds. I notice it's going to take a little bit longer for places like Sioux City and Omaha for this area of storms to reach you. We're probably talking about not until after 10 o'clock tonight before these storms start to roll in. And it is probable that they will weaken some, though will they weaken enough so that they're not severe anymore? That's not a guarantee by any means. I'm still concerned that you could get some very strong wind gusts and still some hail. That is a possibility, though the tornado threat will be dropping at this point as well, though not completely zero. I do think by the time we get to midnight, this area of storms is clear of the area. Notice still a lot of showers around and maybe a few weak thunderstorms, but no more severe storms to worry about. So what I'm most concerned about till midnight, what I think most people are going to see are some very strong winds. Of course, heavy rain and lightning is just about a guarantee. We're all going to be seeing that. But some really strong winds as well. We're not talking about just 40, 50 mile per hour wind gusts, but there is the potential in a few locations to see wind gusts as high as 80 miles per hour. I cannot rule that out. And particularly until about 8 o'clock this evening, a significant threat for hail and tornadoes. I'm not ruling out, worst case scenario, up to some baseball size hail. The later in the night the storms get to you, the less likely the threat is for hail and tornadoes. For example, if we're going to see an EF2 or EF3 tornado, it's probably until 8 o'clock this evening. After 8 o'clock, still a chance for tornadoes, but at that point, more likely to be an EF0 or EF1 tornado. It's more likely you're just going to see some really strong straight line winds, but I want to leave the chance for a tornado in there for everyone. Also want to mention the low chance for some flooding. That is a possibility in a few spots because it was stormy last night, and there is the potential in a few spots to pick up an additional 2 inches of rain. So that 2 inches of rain was to fall on an area that saw storms last night. Yes, there could be flooding in low-lying and poorly drained locations in particular. So 2 big takeaways. 1, stormy, dangerous nights. If you don't have to be out, please don't. A good night to stay in. Second, make sure you can be notified if any warnings get issued, whether it's a severe thunderstorm warning or a tornado warning. Of course, I'll be posting about any warnings to this website, to this app, and on our social media accounts, so you can get notified that way. So the best thing you can do right now is make sure your phone is fully charged. That way you can get those alerts if a warning is issued. And also a good idea to have a fully charged phone in case the power goes out, which is a possibility tonight. So stay safe. Thanks for watching.